I was young and foolish. When I met Amma, he seemed like everything I had ever dreamed of. Charming, confident, and completely focused on me. He made me feel special, like I was the only one who mattered. I believed him when he painted pictures of a future together. A big house, laughter of children, a life full of joy. I trusted every word. But everything changed the moment I told him I was pregnant. At first, he pretended to be happy. He said all the right things, but I could see the panic in his eyes. Then he started to distance himself. He stopped calling, stopped replying to messages. And one day, he just disappeared. I searched for him, begged his friends for answers. Nothing. He was gone. I was alone, pregnant, with nowhere to go. Robert sat silently, absorbing every word. Amaka's voice was low, steady, but filled with pain. I tried to stay strong, she continued. I took on odd jobs, cleaning, selling whatever I could, but it was never enough. When the twins were born, it became harder. Diapers, food, medicine. I couldn't keep up. She paused, blinking quickly, trying to hold herself together. Then came the eviction. I had fallen behind on rent. I pleaded with the landlord, but he didn't care. We were thrown out like trash. Since then, I've been on the streets, moving from place to place, hoping every day for a miracle. Her voice broke slightly. I stopped believing one would come. Robert felt a sharp sting in his chest. He had lived a life of comfort, of ease. Never once imagining someone he once knew so well could fall this far. He leaned forward, his voice low but steady. You didn't deserve this, Amaka. No one does. She looked up at him, eyes shimmering with tears. But it happened. And I've learned not to expect anything from anyone. He shook his head slowly. Then maybe it's time you expect something different. A silence fell between them, not uncomfortable, but heavy with the weight of all that had been said. Amaka exhaled deeply. I don't know how to start over. Robert's voice was soft. You don't have to do it alone. She looked at him again, her expression uncertain, but something had changed. A tiny crack in the wall she had built. Maybe, just maybe, this wasn't another heartbreak. It might just be a second chance. Was gone. Just like that. Robert clenched his jaw. So he just abandoned you. Amaka nodded, her voice barely above a whisper. Yes. And I was left with nothing. No job, no money, no support. My father threw me out, said I had brought shame to the family. My mother cried, but she couldn't stop him. Her eyes clouded with the memory. I had nowhere to go. I struggled. Robert. I begged for work, cleaning, hawking, anything I could find. I did everything to take care of my boys. But it was never enough. Robert's fists tightened. His chest rose with silent rage. That man left you to suffer? He didn't even check on his own children. She shook her head slowly. Not once. Not a single call. He never even saw them. Robert exhaled sharply, his hands gripping the armrest. Do you know where he is now? I have no idea. I stopped searching after a while. I realized he was never coming back. His voice dropped, low and tense. A real man doesn't abandon his children. He doesn't walk away from the woman he once claimed to love. Amaka gave a bitter smile. Amma wasn't a real man. Just a coward in a nice suit. Robert shook his head, seething. If I ever find him. Robert. Her hand rested on his arm, stopping him. It doesn't matter anymore. What matters now is my boys. They need stability. They need a future. He took a deep breath, trying to settle the anger burning in his chest. And they'll have one, a marker. You're not doing this alone anymore. I won't let you. Tears welled in her eyes, but this time they weren't from pain alone. There was something else, hope. I made a huge mistake, she murmured, voice trembling. I was proud. I never thought I'd need help. Robert leaned in, his voice gentle but steady. Pride isn't a crime. Wanting a better life isn't a sin. I ignored the signs, she continued, choking on the words. I should have known Amma wasn't the man I thought he was. People warned me, but I didn't listen. I thought love was enough. He let her speak, quietly listening. And when things got worse, I still wouldn't ask for help. I believed I could fix it, that if I just held on a little longer, things would turn around. But they didn't. They only got worse. She looked away, blinking rapidly. I was too ashamed to face anyone from my past. I thought they'd laugh at me. Tell me I deserved it. That I had made my bed. Robert's voice was firm. No one deserves what happened to you, a marker. She swallowed hard. I laughed at you once. Back in school. When you liked me. I thought you weren't good enough. Now look at us. You're the one offering to help, and I have nothing. He exhaled slowly. Life isn't a scoreboard. You think I'm doing this because of the past? No. This is about what's right. Leaving you and those boys on the streets would be wrong. Her lips quivered, but she said nothing. Robert rubbed his palms together, then looked at her again. You don't have to be ashamed. Everyone makes mistakes. But I don't want to be a burden, she whispered. He chuckled softly. A burden? Do you know how many strangers I help? People I've never even met. You're someone I grew up with, someone I once cared about. If I can help them, why wouldn't I help you? Tears filled her eyes again, and she quickly wiped them away. I just don't want to feel like I owe anyone. Then don't, Robert said gently. Consider it a fresh start. Not a debt. A chance for you and the boys to breathe again. She looked at her hands, her voice soft. Okay, Robert. I'll try. He smiled, the first real smile he had shown that day. That's all I asked. The next morning, Robert took a marker and the twins shopping. They walked into a quiet boutique where a kind-looking woman welcomed them warmly. Pick whatever you like, Robert said. A marker hesitated, eyeing the price tags. Everything looked expensive. Robert, I can't. You can, he said firmly. Your boys deserve this. You deserve this. She took a deep breath and nodded, still unsure, but knowing her children needed this. The twins ran excitedly around the store, holding up tiny shirts and giggling. Amaka chose modest but beautiful clothes for herself and the boys. When they were done, Robert drove them to a hospital for a full checkup. Amaka sat nervously as the doctor examined the children. They're a little underweight, he said, but with proper nutrition, they'll be just fine. She let out a breath she didn't even realize she'd been holding. For the first time in years, she felt a small sense of relief. Outside the hospital, she turned to Robert. Why are you doing this? He stopped walking and looked her in the eyes. Because I care, Amaka. She crossed her arms, suspicion flickering in her eyes. People don't help without wanting something. What do you want from me? He sighed. Not everything in life has a price. I just want to see you and your boys safe. She studied his face carefully. After everything she had been through, kindness felt strange, unfamiliar. I don't know how to trust anymore, Robert. Then don't trust me yet, he said simply. Just take it one step at a time. She looked over at her boys, now laughing and full. Maybe, just maybe, he was right. The following day, Robert called her into his study. She sat across from him, nervous. "I want to offer you a job," he said. "A job?" She blinked in surprise. "Yes. At my company. I don't know anything about business. What could I possibly do?" "You'll start with simple tasks, record keeping, assisting with clients, office support. You'll learn as you go." "I haven't worked in years, Robert. What if I mess up?" "You will," he smiled. "And that's okay. Everyone does. You're smart. A marker. You just need a chance." "What if your staff doesn't respect me? What if I don't belong there?" "Then they'll answer to me," he said. "But this isn't about them. It's about you. You have to believe in yourself." She thought of her children. They needed her to try. Slowly, she lifted her head. "Okay. I'll try. That's all I need to hear." Her first day at the office was intimidating. The building was sleek, the staff confident. Compared to them, she felt unsure, like she didn't belong. Whispers followed her. "Who is she? Why is she here?" She struggled. The computer confused her. Instructions blurred. Mistakes came easily. One afternoon, frustrated and close to tears, she sat at her desk, frozen. Robert walked by. "You okay?" She sighed. "I feel lost. Maybe I don't belong here." He sat beside her. "When I started this company, I didn't know half of what I do now. I made mistakes too. Learning takes time. I just don't want to disappoint you. You only disappoint me if you give up. And I don't think that's you." His words echoed in her heart. Day by day, she worked harder, asked questions, stayed late. Slowly, things started making sense. One day, an upset customer came in. A marker listened patiently, took notes, and reassured him with calm confidence. After he left, Robert, watching from a distance, smiled. "You handled that well." For the first time, a marker smiled back. "Maybe I'm finally getting the hang of this." Robert nodded. "I knew you would." Back at home, the boys were thriving. Laughter filled the house each morning. They followed Robert everywhere, calling him Uncle Robert, climbing into his lap, asking questions. One evening, as they sat together, FMG curled beside him. "Uncle Robert, will we stay here forever?" Robert smiled. "As long as your mother wants." Ibu Bear looked up from the floor. "Mommy is happy here. She doesn't cry at night anymore." Robert's heart tightened. He ruffled the boy's hair. "That's a good thing, isn't it?" Efim nodded. "Yes, and we love it here too." From the doorway, a marker watched silently, placing a hand over her heart. "Peace." She hadn't felt that in years. Amy's face darkened. "You can't keep them from me. They're my children." A marker's eyes blazed with anger. "No, Amia. They're mine. I'm the one who raised them, protected them, and suffered for them. Where were you?" Amia opened his mouth, but no words came out. A marker took a deep breath, her hand shaking. "You had your chance, Amia. My sons don't need an unreliable father, and I won't let you hurt them." Robert spoke up. "You heard her. Now, leave." Amia stood frozen, his fists clenched. He looked at a marker, then at Robert, then back at the door, as though searching for a way to regain control. But it was clear to him now, he had lost. A marker's gaze held no fear, no longing, no regret, only certainty. His lips parted as if to argue, but nothing came out. He knew there were no words that could undo the past, no excuse that would erase his absence. With a heavy breath, he turned towards the door. Without another word, he walked away. Amaka stood still, listening to the fading footsteps. When the door shut behind him, she exhaled deeply, unaware that she had been holding her breath. Her hands trembled slightly, but it wasn't from fear, it was from relief. Robert watched her closely. "Are you okay?" Amaka nodded. "For the first time in years, I think I am." Days turned into weeks, and life slowly settled into a peace Amaka had never thought possible. The twins were thriving. Ephraim and Abu Bet no longer looked at the world with tired, fearful eyes. They laughed more, played without worry, and ran into Robert's arms every evening when he returned from work. One afternoon, Amaka and Robert sat in the garden, watching the boys chase each other. Amaka turned to Robert. "I don't think I ever properly thanked you." Robert smiled. "You don't have to. Seeing you and the boys happy is enough." She looked him in the eyes, and for the first time, she allowed herself to feel something she had buried for years. One evening, as they sat on the balcony, Amaka was scrolling through her phone when Robert exhaled slowly and turned to her. "Amaka, I need to tell you something," he said, his voice steady but serious. Amaka looked at him, sensing the weight of his words. "What is it?" He hesitated, then spoke. "Amaka, I've loved you for years. But this time, I want you to choose me for who I am, not for what I have." Amaka's breath caught in her throat. She wasn't expecting this, especially not now. She searched his face for any sign that he was joking, but Robert's eyes showed only honesty. She looked away, her heart pounding. "Robert, I don't know what to say." "Then don't say anything," he said softly. "Just listen." She swallowed hard, nodding for him to continue. "I don't want to be just the man who helped you when you were down. I want to be more than that. I want to stand by you, not because I feel sorry for you, but because I choose you. And I want you to choose me, too, not because of what I've done, but because you truly want to." Amaka stared at the boys playing, her mind clouded with emotion she had buried for too long. She took a deep breath, gripping the edge of her chair. "Robert, this is a lot." Robert nodded. "I know, and I don't expect an answer right now. But I needed you to know how I feel." She closed her eyes for a moment, memories flashing through her mind. She had trusted before, believed in love before, and it had left her broken. "I've been hurt, Robert," she whispered. "I gave my heart to someone once, and he destroyed me. What if I make the wrong choice again? What if it all falls apart?" Robert gently took her hand. "I can't promise you that life will be perfect, Amaka. But I can promise you this: I will never leave you. I will never abandon you or the boys. I will fight for you, for us, every single day." Tears welled in Amaka's eyes, but she quickly blinked them away. She wanted to believe him. She wanted to trust again, but fear still clung to her heart. She turned to him, searching his face for any hint of doubt or hesitation, but saw none, just warmth, just patience. "I don't know if I can do this," she admitted. Robert squeezed her hand lightly. "Then take your time. I'm not going anywhere." For the first time, Amaka allowed herself to consider the possibility of love again. It was terrifying, but this time, it also felt safe. As days passed, Amaka began to see Robert in a new light. She noticed his patience with the boys, the way he always listened when she spoke, and how he never pressured her. He didn't just say he cared, he showed it in every little thing he did. One evening, as they sat outside, Amaka took a deep breath and spoke. Robert, I see it now. I see who you are, and I know now that I love you, too. Robert's eyes softened. For a moment, he said nothing, then he smiled. Are you sure? Amaka nodded. Yes, I am. Not long after, Robert got down on one knee, holding out a simple but elegant ring. Amaka, will you marry me? Amaka's hands flew to her mouth, and happy tears filled her eyes. Yes. Robert. Yes. Robert laughed, pulling her into a hug. A few days later, Robert brought up something important. Amaka, I think it's time we visit your family. Let's make peace with them. Amaka frowned. Robert, my father threw me out. He didn't care what happened to me. Why should I go back? Robert took her hands. Because forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. And maybe, just maybe, they regret what they did. After much thought, Amaka agreed. They traveled to her family home, taking the twins along. When they arrived, her mother broke down in tears, holding Amaka tightly. My daughter, I've missed you so much. Her father, looking older and weaker, stepped forward, his voice shaking. Amaka, I was wrong. I let my pride drive you away. Can you ever forgive me? Tears streamed down Amaka's face. She had carried this pain for years, but in that moment, she let it go. Yes, Papa, I forgive you. Robert cleared his throat and spoke with respect. Sir, I love your daughter. I want to marry her. I promise to take care of her and the boys. Amaka's father looked at Robert, then at his daughter, and nodded. You have my blessing, my son. The whole family celebrated that night. Amaka's parents were overjoyed to be reunited with their daughter and grandchildren. As they left the next morning, Amaka felt lighter. She had found love, family, and, finally, peace. The day of the traditional wedding arrived, and the air buzzed with excitement. Family and friends gathered, dressed in their finest attire. Amaka, adorned in a stunning native outfit, walked gracefully into the ceremony venue. Her heart was filled with emotions she couldn't quite describe. Drums beat rhythmically, and the sound of traditional songs echoed through the air. Women danced joyfully, their colorful wrappers swaying with each movement. The sweet aroma of jollof rice and fried meat filled the venue, making everyone eager for the feast ahead. Robert, dressed in traditional attire, stood at the front, his eyes locked on Amaka. When she finally stood before him, he smiled. You look beautiful, Amaka. She blushed, lowering her gaze for a moment before meeting his eyes. And you look like a man ready to become a husband. The ceremony continued with prayers, blessings, and the symbolic pouring of palm wine. Amaka's father, now a humbled man, placed her hands in Robert's. Take care of my daughter, he said, his voice thick with emotion. Robert nodded. With all my heart. As night fell, the celebration continued with laughter, music, and endless dancing. The twins ran around happily, their faces full of excitement. Life after the wedding was different, but in the best way possible. Amaka, Robert, and the twins settled into their new life, creating a home filled with love and laughter. Robert remained the caring man she had grown to love, always putting family first. The twins adored him, calling him Daddy without hesitation. He read them bedtime stories and made sure they always had everything they needed. One evening, as Amaka tucked the boys into bed, Robert stood by the doorway, watching with a soft smile. When she walked up to him, he pulled her into a warm embrace. Are you happy? He asked. Amaka looked up at him, her heart swelling. More than I ever thought I could be. Robert kissed her forehead. Then that's all that matters. As they stood there, holding each other, Amaka realized something. Life had given her a second chance, and she had taken it. No longer was she the woman abandoned on the streets. She was a wife, a mother, and, most importantly, she was loved. And so they lived happily, proving that second chances and true love could change lives forever. Life is full of unexpected turns, but no matter how hard things get, hope is never truly lost. Sometimes help comes from the least expected places, and second chances can lead to a beautiful new beginning. Amaka's story teaches us that strength isn't found in facing struggles alone, but in accepting help when it comes. And most importantly, true love isn't about what someone has, but about who they truly are. What do you think of this story? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. And guess what? A brand new, exciting story is coming your way in just a few days. So if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when I upload it. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends. Thank you so much for your support, and see you in the next one.